Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
That breaking news, a bad crash this morning involving a semi-trailer in Saunders County. We're taking a live look at the scene this morning along Highway 77. This is just outside of Wahoo. Now, according to our photographer on the scene, it appears at least one person was taken from the scene in a medical helicopter. Right now, we don't know what led up to the crash, and we're hoping to get more information from officials on the scene.
All right, some more breaking news this morning. A person is hurt after a cutting incident at the Jean Lakey Mall. This happened just after 10 o'clock last night. Now, so far, no word about the extent of that person's injuries or any arrests. Stay with First Alert 6 as we work to learn more details about both of those situations.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on First Alert 6 Streaming. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley, of course, joined by meteorologist Jarrett Lansford and Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. All right, if yesterday was just a little bit too warm too fast, today is a little bit more moderate.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to this week. We're just not going to get to 80. It looks like quite as easy as we did yesterday. 82 is the high, by the way. Now, everything looks pretty good by March standards, even today. You got a beautiful sunrise, some high, thin clouds out there.
So pretty.
And we're going to start off warming up, but it's still a little chilly to start. Now, this 33, this is the official reading for Omaha. It is at the airport, and it's a little deceiving with a wind chill of 25. You will notice that, but notice in many other spots, we're a lot closer to 40 in Millard, Elkhorn, 36 in Bennington, 33 in Fremont. So a little bit of warmth was able to hold on in the city. A little urban heat island kept some of that around, and it's a little warmer down to the south as well. A north wind is trying to funnel in some cooler air this morning. So I still think it's going to be dry today, though. So if you want to get the car washed, it's a go for it. 58 degrees for the high this afternoon, and no threat of any rain. There's that north wind, 5 to 15 miles per hour. First alert to what could be a couple of gusts, though, as we make our way through. Well, this is Wednesday's wind gust forecast, so that's not going to help you out much today. Brought the wrong one in here. Basically, some gusts this morning up near 30 miles per hour. They will back off into the afternoon. So let's go through today's forecast really quick here. And you can see 30s around 9 o'clock. We'll warm up into the 40s by noon. Just a few high, thin clouds, just enough to get in the way of a perfectly sunny day. By 3 o'clock, we're up into the mid-50s. By 5, I think we can muster about 57, 58 degrees for that afternoon high. Some 60s trying to show up to the south. Overall, pretty good day. Again, still above average, just not 30 degrees above average like yesterday. By 7, we're down in the 50s still, and then falling off through the 40s. Probably another chilly night. Heading towards tomorrow morning, we will dip down into the low 30s before some clouds try to work their way in, but those don't look all that ominous either. 72 Wednesday trending up, 75 on Thursday trending up as well. Mostly sunny skies there. A lot to look forward to. Again, yesterday we were very spoiled, but it's still pretty darn good the rest of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a blizzard, right?
Bingo.
You could go get a blizzard if you want.
You could actually go get a blizzard. But we don't want to just, get too involved in these 70s because there's a change coming this weekend, and we could actually see some more winter weather.
Yeah, I don't think winter's done yet, so enjoy what we have. Okay. There is a system trying to move in towards the end of the week that's going to bring, well, Friday, a severe weather aspect. Again, not quite in our area. So we'll get an update to this later on tomorrow. And that could include maybe a little bit of our Iowa counties for some severe potential on Friday. We'll watch it. What happens is these do tend to march a little farther west on models as we get a little closer to the event. But right now, best odds for severe on Friday afternoon and evening, Des Moines and Northeast, Waterloo, Davenport, Cedar Rapids, and then a much greater chance down to the south, St. Louis and Memphis. So that's what we're watching on the warm side of this system. It'll be warm and windy Friday. And there's what we get by 4 o'clock. Couple spotty storms. Model resolution isn't all that great this far out. By tomorrow, we'll have a little better data to show you and just how specific and how spotty those storms will be. And you'll notice that's the line probably that gets going that has the strong to severe potential. Look what happened Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. There's some snow trying to wrap in on the north edge of this. And it tries to get as far south as I-80 now on some models. So if you got to travel north on I-29 Saturday morning, Sioux City to Sioux Falls and north, you'll be going into what could be 40 to 50 mile per hour winds and likely some falling snow. So that is going to be a rough drive to the north, and we'll see how much of those conditions can sneak down into our area. Anybody north of I-80 needs to pay attention to that, the way it looks now. First alert to that for Saturday. 10-day forecast shows the changes too. 70s to 40s from Friday to Saturday. You will notice the difference. We'll try to rebound a bit Sunday and then into Monday. And there's another system middle of next week trying to show a little bit of snow potential as well. We'll talk more about that one in a little bit because I don't want to bum you out too much if you're loving the 82 that we had yesterday. But we'll get to that here shortly.
All right. In the meantime, we have an update about that semi-trailer crash that's causing a lot of issues this morning. But how is that affecting traffic impacts?
Yeah, you know, Highway 77 is a big route through Saunders County, so a lot of people use that as they're trying to make their way out and about. And we actually have it closed to traffic as you're heading northbound. So that's definitely a factor to consider as we're getting things up and running. So let's give you a look at where things stand. We actually have a tow truck on the scene. So that's an encouraging sign that we are working to try to clean this crash up and try to get out of the way of traffic pretty quickly here. But for the time being, you can see northbound traffic not coming through. Coming toward the camera is southbound traffic, and that is getting through that area. So if you are looking, when we look at the map, to head this direction, to head south around that curve there, you can do that. But if you're heading north toward the roundabout, that's where you're going to run into that closure. So you'll need to find your way around that. You could always drive into Wahoo and drive back up toward the main route there, and that'll get you where you need to go. As far as what we're seeing in the metro, it's been a reasonably quiet start to our morning drive. We had a few delays that were in place on Maple as you were heading eastbound near 180th. That's gone away. Let's check in on the JFK. That always has problems this time of the morning, and the ramp is a little slow to go to westbound I-80, but otherwise it's not too bad on the JFK itself. We zoom things out. A much quieter start to the morning than what we had at this point yesterday when we had all kinds of issues happening on I-80. It's a much smoother drive for you as you're making your way onto the interstates at this point, and hopefully we can keep it that way. The one thing that does concern me this morning, and we'll keep an eye on this as the morning goes on, eastbound drivers, sunglasses are going to be a necessity as you're heading out the door, not just this morning, but really for much of the week, because after the time change, we have the sun right in your eyes, right at the peak of the commute. And that means the visibility could be a problem and cause some more issues for anyone, slow things down as people try to navigate around that. So any of your east-west routes, a lot of the ones that really have the biggest issues in those kind of scenarios, I-80 around 84th, Dodge as you get in your 144th, usually get some backups in sun glare scenarios. So I'll be keeping a close eye on those.
All right, Jarrett, thanks so much. Well, today's the day you'll get the chance to hear from the 5 candidates vying to become Omaha's mayor. Our own Brian Mastry is moderating an hour-long debate today at noon, and you can watch it. You can watch the live stream on our website, firstalert6.com, as well as on your Facebook page and our YouTube pages. The debate is sponsored by the Omaha Press Club and the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha.
Also happening today, Mayor Gene Stothard and Police Chief Todd Schmaderer are set to address where officer recruitment stands. Last year, Stothard said that recruiting police officers is a priority for the city. Back in January, OPD graduated 27 new officers, and Stothard says the city is striving for 2 more recruit classes this year. A news conference is set for 9:30 this morning. All right, now to the First Alert 6 Safety Desk with Maria Kay. Maria, you have some good information about air quality.
Yeah, it's really a problem in many places around the world, and there is some new research that's coming out that's finding that a majority of cities are not meeting global standards, unfortunately. So this report is coming from air quality monitor IQ Air. They say most of the world has dirty air. In that report, only 17% of cities are meeting the air pollution guidelines. Now, the company analyzed data from 138 countries. They did find that Chad, Congo, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India had the dirtiest air. Also, according to the report, India has 6 of the 9 most polluted cities in the world. Experts say the real amount of air pollution might be a lot worse than this, though, unfortunately. That is because many parts of the world do not have the monitoring tools that are needed to get that really accurate data. But luckily, more air quality monitors are being set up throughout the world to help with this issue.
Okay, in the meantime, moving on, there's a new study finding a lot of Americans like quick and easy meals.
And a lot of them are turning to the frozen aisle, getting those frozen meals to help with that. And there is some new research that's coming out from the National Frozen and Refrigerated Foods Association. They find that 64% of people are choosing to eat frozen meals now to combat rising grocery costs. Now, that report also found that 83% of Americans say frozen foods make their meal planning easier. So March, if you didn't know, is National Frozen Food Month. Celebrity chef Jamie Gwen says it is important to mix and match your frozen ingredients. She says more and more families are leaning in that direction.
And I think this is a testament to budget and convenience, right? When you think about freezer space, it is not just for storage anymore. Now it has become a critical tool. And that says a whole lot about the frozen food aisle.
Now, Gwen says during National Frozen Food Month, many grocery stores do offer some discounts on that frozen food. So she says when you are making your shopping list before you head out to the grocery store, you want to focus on those staples, getting those frozen staples that can work with a lot of meals. We think of frozen veggies or maybe frozen chicken. That can really help when you're in a pinch.
Absolutely. All right, Marie-Kate, thank you. We're back after this.
Welcome back, everybody. I love the sunrise. I know it. It is a beautiful start to our morning. A smidgen on the chilly side, so you will need a jacket. But you know what? Just think about the beautiful weather we had yesterday. That'll surely warm you up. I mean, we thought we were going to get 80. We surpassed 80 yesterday.
It was wild. Usually you break these records by a degree or two. We crushed it by 5 yesterday. So 82 degrees goes in the record books yesterday as the new record high temperature. We're not going to be anywhere close to that today. Some cooler airs rolled in, but there you go, by the numbers, that's where we ended up. We're at 33 right now officially at the airport, 37 in Council Bluffs, 43 in Bellevue, 36 in Bennington. Current temperatures, 30s on the north half of the map, 40s on the south half right now. Some cooler air trying to settle in, but look at the feels like numbers. A lot of 20s and 30s, even feels like 19 in Norfolk. So the really warm stuff of yesterday has come to an end. This is a little more typical of what you'd expect for a March morning. You got wind gusts out of the north, still trying to hit 20 miles per hour. I think these could still spike a little bit, 20 to 25 all the way through 10 o'clock. And then notice nothing stronger than about 10 miles per hour later on this afternoon as we enjoy highs in the 50s. So a pretty good one on the way, even though it's 20 degrees colder than yesterday. Still well above where we should be this time of year. Now, the severe potential still there heading into Friday. We're going to talk about how that plays out over the course of the next few days. You can see here that we're likely just on the very west edge of this severe potential, the way things are looking as of right now. So the severe risk at its greatest, St. Louis down to Memphis, out of this round of strong storms that will likely going to pump in a lot of south wind with ahead of this, and then it'll be a north wind behind it. So the 10-day forecast looks like this: 72 on Wednesday, 75 on Thursday, still pretty good into Friday, but I'm thinking Wednesday and Thursday are probably going to be the better of the days this week for the rest of the week, because there's a lot of wind out of the south on Friday, and then it's a north wind on Saturday that kicks in. And you see what it does to the temperatures as well. We shave 30 plus degrees off the number between Friday and Saturday with the changeup we have on the way.
All right, but seeing a day over 80 yesterday kind of got me already into the spring mode. But you say slow down.
Yeah.
Not done yet.
A lot of ups and downs in the forecast. So you're still going to get some of the good days, but I don't think we're done with the winter just yet. You can see right here a little AM rain to snow, and I want to touch on that here as we go through the day Friday. Notice some spotty thunder showers by 4 p.m. or so Friday, trying to lift north. That's a severe potential. Greatest risk as it just kind of grows a lot more to the east. This is what I'm watching for Saturday morning. Look at this nose of some snow dropping down into our area. Northern counties could get a little bit out of this on Saturday morning. Watch for that. Plus, there's another system, middle of next week, still trying to show up with some snow in our area. Usually you get the wet snows this time of year. They don't stick around long, but we're not done yet. We got 2 more that we need to watch. Could get clipped by one on Saturday and then that one on Wednesday of next week. Again, that's next week.
Yeah.
But pay attention to that one too.
Okay.
Guess we'll have to. No, Rusty, thank you. Jared, all morning long, you've really been monitoring that crash in Highway 77. You have an update for us right now.
Yeah, continuing to see towing operations take place. So we're getting closer to seeing that road reopen. Well, let's take a look at the latest from the Nebraska DOT camera, and you can see that we've got the trailer upright. We've got things kind of getting centralized toward moving to open that road, but just not quite there yet. So probably still going to be a little bit until we get northbound 77 reopened. You can see southbound is open. You've got the roundabout here fully open, so you can kind of work your way around this. But as you try to approach this roundabout from the south is where you run into the closure. So keep that in mind if you're in Wahoo. I also want to talk about a couple of construction areas. Since things are pretty quiet in the metro, these are some areas that could slow you up. And poor fellow drivers near 72nd and Maple, what a stretch you've been seeing with all kinds of different projects. Here's the latest one that started up. This is westbound on Maple. As you get just past 72nd, you've got 1-lane travel that's in place. This is for some sewer work that's happening over the next 2 weeks. So be prepared for it to be a little bit slower. You may have to merge as you're heading toward that spot along Maple. Then we're going to go downtown. We've been talking a whole lot about Farnham, Harney with different closures that are in place there. How about we add Leavenworth to the mix with some lane restrictions? This is between 19th and 16th. Now the good news is this is pretty short term. This only lasts through Friday, but as we go through the rest of the week, you're going to need to watch out for some possible restrictions being in place on Leavenworth. Overall, though, look at that. That's a lot of green that's in place as we're making our way through this morning. So hopefully this is a good sign for what the rest of the commute has in store for us.
We hope so. All right, Jared, thank you so much. Well, happening today, a public hearing and vote is set on how the Omaha City Council handles replacing a council member.
Yeah, the council followed current law when it replaced Vinnie Palermo with Ron Hug about 2 years ago. Hug served as an elected member of the Metro Community College Board for 28 years. The decision to go with Hug drew pushback from the heavily Latino populated District 4.
We had former county commissioner pass away early into his term, and we had our county treasurer Walt Pfeffer passed away recently, fairly early into his term, and both of those were filled by appointments by the county board and by the county officials. So I think there needs to be a statutory change that would address all elected people.
Hug believes this should spark a larger discussion. Also at City Council, a public hearing on a potential extension to contract to FCC Environmental Service. If passed, the city would accept a 5-year extension of FCC's contract for yard waste collection. Also up for discussion, a 5-year extension for the supply of roll-off containers and collection at recycling drop-off sites. Well, coming up, the newly announced Omaha Performing Arts Broadway season.
Yeah, we'll tell you all about it and our thoughts when we return right here on First Alert 6 Streaming. Welcome back, everybody. 10 Broadway national tours are making their way to Omaha over the next year.
All right, Omaha Performing Arts is announcing their 2025-26 Broadway season, featuring some returning hits and some favorites. The new shows include the Tony Award-winning Best Musical, The Outsiders, a revival of The Wiz, A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond Musical, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire is going to be a musical. Yes. Wicked, Six the Musical, and Mamma Mia will also be returning to Omaha. New Broadway season subscriptions on sale right now. Single show tickets will be available in the future. All shows will be performed at the Orpheum Theater. That's The Wiz, and that I've got to see.
I was going to say, Maria, I got to see The Wiz.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So many great
Wiz
shows.
and Wicked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great to have both of them in the season. That last picture was from Six the Musical.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, oh my gosh,
Okay.
so good. It's actually like a pop version retelling of Henry VIII and his 6 wives. So,
So it kind of has a Hamilton vibe.
Yeah,
it has a Hamilton
they made it
vibe.
after Hamilton.
Ah.
So all of the wives are actually based on pop artists. So there's like a Beyonce and Ariana
that's funny.
Grande and Adele.
That would be so good.
Yes. I think you would like it, Jared.
Some pretty popular ones.
Because Jared knows all the music.
Yes.
So that would be good. Okay.
Well, some of these you wonder how on earth they make that a musical. Then you go watch them and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Mrs. Doubtfire, I'm like, how does that work? But okay, we'll see. Maybe there's
I know.
something to
I
it.
haven't seen the production yet.
I didn't
see
know
when
it
on
was one.
Broadway, so
That's
I'll
cool.
be curious to see that one too. And another one that we didn't mention is Anne Juliet. That's also sort of like a pop retelling of Romeo and Juliet.
Hamilton started something, didn't they? Yeah, it's very popular. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
All right, see you soon.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
All right, that breaking news this morning, a bad crash involving a semi-trailer in Saunders County. This is a live look at the scene along Highway 77, just outside of Wahoo. Now, according to our photographer who has been at the scene this morning, it appears at least one person was taken from the scene by medical helicopter. Now, right now, we don't know what caused that crash.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Jarrett Lansford has an update about those traffic impacts concerning that crash. Jarrett.
As you can see from that live picture, that the cleanup operation is still underway. So northbound 77 is closed to traffic as you're right near Wahoo, as you're getting close to the roundabout there around 17th Avenue Road. Southbound traffic is open, so use that to guide your commute. If you're looking to head northbound, probably going to have to go through Wahoo for the time being. Closer to the metro, not much that's happening that's an issue for us. So a little slow at the 680 and Dodge interchange, but when we zoom things out, the JFK showing some signs of slowing near I-80, but otherwise a pretty smooth start to the commute. Watch for that sun glare. That'll be a factor for eastbound drivers. Rusty.
Yeah, that'll start to pick up soon. We have clear skies out there, just some high clouds moving through. 33 right now in Omaha, 37 in Council Bluffs. A few more 30s on the map, some of the 40s starting to trickle away little by little here before we start our warming. 34 in Harlan, so more 30s on the north edge of the map, a few more 40s on the south edge. And you'll notice the winds trying to gust to near 20 miles per hour in a few spots. I would expect gusts through about 10 o'clock to occasionally get up over 20 miles per hour and then back off into the afternoon. So much lighter winds later on today as we enjoy these upper 50s. They're not 80s. That was pretty rare, getting up into the 80s this time of year, but 50s, upper 50s, pretty darn good for this time of year. Back in the 70s, I can get you on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Got a little wind to throw in there on Friday with some spotty thunderstorms in the afternoon. Into the evening, they'll race east quickly. Then watch for a little rain to snow Saturday morning and some colder air. Possibly another system with some snow middle of next week. St. Patrick's Day looking pretty good right now, though. We're going to be back in a half hour.